What is a time you questioned reality? The Note and the Eternal Clock. I'm not much of a believer in the supernatural, but the incident I'm about to share shook my rational skepticism to its core. For the sake of clarity, let's call me John. I was 27 years old, living a relatively mundane life, with the only real escape from the ordinary being my job as a custodian in the town's ancient public library. The library was a collection of musty pages and forgotten stories, with a smell that was an intoxicating blend of time, wisdom, and the ceaseless wear of human hands. My favorite part of the building was the clock tower, which had been faithfully keeping time for the past century. One day, while cleaning the clock tower, I found a hidden compartment in the ancient oak woodwork. Inside was a dusty envelope, the ink on it faded but still legible. It simply said, John. A cold shiver ran down my spine as I realized that was my name. The envelope felt oddly warm, as if it was holding onto a shred of life. I carefully opened the letter and began to read the perfectly cursive handwriting that said, "To the future John, life is fleeting, and time is a relentless monster that chases us all. We often forget that death isn't an end, but a transition. A transition into what, I don't know. But I believe it's a journey that our consciousness undertakes. Now, I need you to do something for me. At the stroke of midnight on August 18, 2023, turn the eternal clock. Do not be afraid of what you will see. This is a window, not an end. From the past, John." I gaped at the letter. How could this be possible? The letter was dusty, ancient, like it had been waiting for me for centuries. And yet, it was from me, to me. Was it a prank, or a cosmic joke? I decided to find out. For days, I waited with bated breath. Finally, the day arrived. At exactly midnight, with my heart pounding in my chest, I started to wind the clock, its cogs and gears grinding in unison, a symphony of time itself. Suddenly, the clock tower seemed to fade away. Instead, I saw myself, but not as I was then. It was me aged by decades. I saw myself living a life I hadn't lived yet, a beautiful woman I hadn't met, children I hadn't fathered, joys and grief I hadn't experienced. Then, I saw myself lying peacefully on a bed, my body frail but my eyes filled with the wisdom of years. I saw myself pass away surrounded by loved ones. When I came back to reality, I felt a strange mix of sadness and peace. I had seen my life, my death. I had witnessed the spectrum of human experiences I was yet to live. And instead of fear, I felt anticipation, an eagerness to experience it all. That day, I learned to see death not as an end but as a transition, and time not as an enemy but as a companion. And the fear of the unknown no longer haunted me because I had already seen it. I have no logical explanation for what happened. Some things just exist beyond the realm of reason and science. I can only say this: life is fleeting, time is relentless, but there is beauty in every tick of the clock, and peace in the knowledge of transition. And to the skeptic that I was, this was the greatest revelation of all.